laughing.
Sit down. I'm talking to the dog, not you. Can somebody turn the lights down? I'm going to go blind. Good evening, everyone. Good to see you tonight. This is my guide dog. His name is Visa. He's not related to MasterCard. He's like American Express, though. I can't leave home without him. He's my second guide dog. The first one I had a career change. He wanted to be a social puppy. Truth of the matter is, I fired him. He walked me into a swimming pool.
It's true. It's true.
The only reason I wanted a guide dog, it was the only way I can attract women. But there's one great thing about having a guide dog, because I can take him anywhere. When I fought, I can blame it on him. Sometimes I gotta explain this blonde hair between my legs, you know. Just remember, I may be blind, but I can hear if you're leaving. You know, when I was in 6th grade, the kids used to make fun of me because of my hearing aid. I got so frustrated. I grabbed my hearing aid, threw it against the wall. It broke into a million little pieces. When I got home, I never heard the end of it. It wasn't until I was about 24 years old. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. I was working at the Playboy Club. Now you know why I'm going blind. There's really some great advantages to going blind and deaf. Every time I look in the mirror, I don't seem to age. I'm always guaranteed to ride the HOV lane. I'm always guaranteed a good night's sleep without noise, especially when my wife and my dog snore. You know, my kids, when they were younger, my son was about 9 years old. I used to take him on the fishing charters. And I took him with my friend Kenny. Kenny knew everything about fishing. Taught my son how to tie a hook on the line, bait his own hook, and then he became the masturbator. He was proud of it until he understood what it meant. Then there was a story about my daughter. There was a time she was visiting me for the weekend, because I was divorced. And she was acting up, so I sent her home to Mom. I go in her room and I find a note from her. It says, "Dad is a asshole." I called her up and said, "Samantha, that wasn't a very nice note you wrote. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The next time, either rip it up so I don't see it or keep it in your head. But remember, Dad is an asshole." There was time I tried to get into sports, and I got involved in this game called beep ball. And this baseball that has a beeping noise. Beep, beep, beep. It's a pound. And I was out in the outfield with my buddy Chuck and I had to put on blindfolds. They wanted to make sure everybody was really blind. So I'm out in the outfield and I'm holding my gloves like this. My buddy Chuck comes up to me a few minutes later and says, "Mitch, I don't think you should be playing this game." I says, "Chuck, go away, don't bother me." Comes back 5 minutes later, says, "Mitch, I really don't think you should be playing this game. You're going to get hurt." He says, "Why do you keep saying that?" He says, "The ball rolled between your legs twice." You know, I used to be in the restaurant business, and we used to serve the senior citizens, and we always had to take the sugar bowls off, the silverware, the glass, and everything. Now I'm getting up there in age, I used to do what they did. I learned my lessons from them. Took everything off the tables. So, excuse me. When I've been divorced for about 20 years, and I dated over 200 women. My friend said I got more guts than a bar stool. I was actually the best wingman for my friends when we went out. I got all the ugly ones. So I met my wife on Match.com. You know, I hear these stories from a lot of comedians always talking about their failures in online dating. Why is it the one guy is always so lucky? But truth be told, I think it was my profile that I wrote that I must have changed it every single day. I added something, subtracted something. But I think the essence of it was basically this. It says, I'm visually challenged. I don't drive. I'll make it up to you in other ways. But I promise you, if you go out with me, you'll never have to worry about me looking at another woman. Took a 2-week honeymoon. I came back, I was still married. We went on a ship called Vision of the Seas. I asked them if they can give me a boat named No Vision of the Seas. You know, I went to a men's room once, and there was when I had my vision, there was a sign above the urinal that said, "This is where Napoleon pulled his bone apart." I know why the floor was so wet. Can you imagine if it was Captain Hook there? Then I went to the urologist. Nobody likes going to the urologist, right? So I go to the urologist and I says, the doctor says, "Doc, did you gain weight?" He says, "Why'd you ask?" He says, "Your fingers seem to have gotten bigger." You know, when I was a kid, my father used to catch me rubbing myself, and he said, "You keep rubbing yourself, you're going to go blind." You think there's some truth in this? You know, I want to share this one story with you. When I took my guide dog out on my first road trip, we were in Chicago.
Barking at. He never does that.
There was a dog barking and
Is it really him?
Yeah.
You're part of the show, Zoe. So I took him to Chicago, and we had a room with a double bed. And knowing from experience from my last dog, I had to take all the covers, the mattress pads, and everything, and push them off to the side. So in the middle of the night, I had him on a bed chain so he wouldn't go wandering around the room and start picking up stuff. So wake up in the morning, lo and behold, he got a hold of the mattress cover, ripped it up. So I go down to the desk and I tell them about it, and I says, "What do I owe you?" He says, $25. So I was kind of disgusted. He says, "Well, how can you just charge me on this? I mean, you know, let it go for once and make enough money." And I wrote a nice letter to the general manager explaining all this. He says, "You know, I could have just walked out and covered up the bed and nobody would have known." 3 weeks later, I get a letter from him saying that they're going to refund my $25. I'm glad I didn't put in the note that P.S. says, "If you give me my $25 back, I'll give you back the 2 glasses and towel I took home." There was a time I was sitting in front of the post office, and I was with my friend Cynthia. I had to go inside, and I'm sitting there. I'm right in straight vision, right in front of the door. I'm watching people come in and out of the post office. All of a sudden, I see Cynthia behind this really, really gorgeous blonde. And I'm watching her go out. I'm just watching her path. Cynthia gets in the car. I said, "Cynthia, did you see that girl that was in front of you? Did you see that beautiful ass she had?" She says, "I think this blind thing is a scam." Thank you very much, and thank you.
Yeah.